Do you feel like men are never as attracted to you as the other girls you see being chased? Did you know that has nothing to do with your looks or your dump truck and everything to do with your approach? Today we'll discuss 7 mistakes making you unattractive to men that you can correct and get any man obsessed with you. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're here and you're participating in the live stream and you're paying attention to me, please stay here present in the chat so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Welcome all you beautiful people, and sorry for the technical difficulties in me being late. I just tried to fix a couple of things and I wanted to, I was super excited because I'm working on changing up the set and the look and stuff like that, and changing the color so they all match the theme. I'm getting red curtains and all that good stuff. And Amazon had me super excited to get the package of the curtains and the setup today. But my lazy Amazon driver was 10 stops away. But before he got to my house, because he was supposed to get here before I got on stream, he decided to take a break at Tim Hortons, which is just like Dunkin' Donuts. And he was sitting and chilling and relaxing instead of being at my house delivering the package. So I couldn't get it set up in time for you guys, which is why the background is brown today instead of the color I wanted it to be, which was red. Okay, so tomorrow it will be all set up and it'll be red and it'll be all nice for you guys. All right, but in the meantime, let's get started. I'm gonna give you guys a great long show today since I showed up late, and I see the YouTube people, you guys were here waiting very, very patiently for me. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. Also, those of you that came on from TikTok, because I know yesterday we got suspended from TikTok. So I want to make sure that I'm making it up to all of you beautiful people and giving you guys a great show today. All right. So let's get started here. I'm just going to pop into my vertical stream 1 second as I do this. We'll get started and we're going to have a great show as I pop this out. Perfect. I just want to make sure I can read the chat and do everything I need to do. All right. So, glad to see, I see Missy America's here holding down the YouTube chat. We got SH over in the TikTok chat as well. We got Coco. We got, a whole bunch of people over in the TikTok chat. So good to see all you beautiful people. All right, let's get started here. I'm just gonna pull up my chat and that way I have everyone's messages in front of me. And there we go. Okay, now, first we're gonna be discussing as it relates to you being unattractive to men. I want you guys to understand something, okay? And we need to come to an understanding. If you want to be desired by men, you have to accept what men find desirable, okay? It's just something we have to accept. The same way, if I want to be attractive to women, I have to accept what women find desirable, okay? So let's just all get that straight. Because I know when I say why men find you unattractive, why men don't think you're attractive, people go, oh, why is it always about the men? Why are we always thinking about what men want? Why can't it be about what women want? Look, okay, you're not trying to attract more women. Unless you swing that way, that's fine. But I'm assuming you're here because you want to figure out how men think and what men want, okay? So we can't do that while also being upset about what men find attractive or what they find unattractive, okay? I just want to preface everything I say by saying that, because I know as soon as I get into it, people start saying, that's so stupid that the men find that unattractive. Why would men find that? I just want true, genuine love. That's so stupid that the men don't like the women should find that. I like that. I find that it's cool. You're a woman. Okay, then that's fine that you find certain things attractive that the men don't. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us different, okay? But it's very important that if things haven't been working in your favor and you haven't been able to get these men on their hands and knees crawling on glass and sniffing your butthole, you probably want to change your approach so that you can have that, and that's probably why you're here, okay? So if you're going to hear a man's perspective, you actually have to absorb what I'm saying and not just be like, you're wrong, okay? I want us to preface that. Ivy said I'm scared. No need to be scared, okay? But we will get into it. All right, we will get into it. Now, okay, let's start with oversharing. Okay? I need to be honest with you from a man's perspective. Oversharing can be very, very unattractive from our perspective. Why? Because it's not just about the aspect of sharing yourself to a man and letting him know more about you and talking about yourself. You have to understand when it comes to oversharing, there is a threshold which it becomes too much, right? And you lose your element of mystery. Somebody actually said in the chat before I even said it, Hallie Alexandria said mystery, right? There is no mystery when you overshare, and you also make yourself this very mundane, okay, take me or leave me as I am. There becomes less to discover. And truthfully and honestly, this is for human beings in general. People don't feel closer to you by hearing you talk about yourself. People feel closest to you when they get to share about themselves. Okay. I'm just going to be real with you, right? The most interesting person to all of us in our own individual lives is ourselves. Why? Because you're never, no matter whether you have children, triplets, twins, you have a cousin, you have whatever you are, right? No matter who it is, there will never be anyone on this earth that you spend more time with than yourself. So the truth of the matter is, the most interesting person to you will always and has always been you. That's fine. But I want you to understand you can use that to your advantage. Why? Because if someone walks away from a date with you or a hangout with you and they feel like they got to talk about themselves, share about themselves, it felt like it was really about them, their attraction to you grows because they feel invested and interested in the conversation because they're sharing and talking about them. I don't even care if that person's an introvert, okay? Even introverts talk, even introverts share. Now, there's obviously different strategies to get people to share and to get people talking, but I promise you, after everyone gets off their chest, whatever was on their chest, whether you're an introvert or an outgoing person, everyone feels better. There's no one on this earth that has ever shared a lot about themselves and walked away from that situation saying, damn, I feel like garbage because I shared with someone and I actually let off my chest all the things that I was feeling or thinking. Nobody has ever walked away from a situation thinking that, okay? As soon as you start sharing and start talking about yourself and you start opening up more, people begin to feel better about themselves. And when they begin to feel better about themselves when they're around you, what happens? They begin to project whatever feelings they were feeling when they were with you onto you as the vessel through which they can feel those things. I know that sounds a little bit complicated, but yesterday I talked to you guys about people don't remember what you say. What do they remember? Tell me in the live stream if you were here yesterday. People don't remember what you say. They remember what about you? If you were here yesterday, you should know the answer to this question. Okay, people don't remember what you say. They remember what? Okay, I want to see how many. I'm not going to say anything. I want to see how many of you know the answer to this question. Very, very important. Okay, people don't remember what you say. They remember what about you? What is it that they remember about you if they don't remember what you say? Okay, I want to see how many of you were paying attention. See who was paying attention. People never remember what you say. They only remember how you make them feel. Okay, very important. People don't remember what you say to them. People don't remember how long you yapped for. People don't care, okay? What they care about, what they remember, what they put into memory when they think back to everything that you've been through together, when they think back to all the situations you guys have had together, when they think back to their memory of you, all they can think about is how you made them feel, okay? Now, the reason I tell you that is because if you can understand that and grasp that concept, then it'll be it'll be much easier to understand why oversharing can actually work against you and become unattractive. Because think about it. While it might feel great for you to share with me and talk and yap and yap and yap. How many of you love yapping? Tell me in the chat if you love yapping. Okay, how many of you guys love yapping? While it might feel awesome and amazing to yap, okay, as a guy, for us to sit here and listen to you yapping, right? After a while, it becomes a little bit boring and uninteresting, okay? Because I don't get to share about myself. I don't get to talk about myself. I'm just listening to you talk about yourself. And you find you very interesting. So you think the conversation is very interesting, right? And you become very invested in me because you're sharing yourself with me. But I am less invested, okay? Because I'm not sharing anything about myself. I'm not speaking about myself. I'm not investing in you. I want you to understand this concept. When you're in a relationship, especially at the beginning stages, right? As you can invest in someone financially, you have Shira and other people talk about stuff like that. When we're talking about investing in someone emotionally, it's actually not that hard to get someone to invest in you emotionally. It's as simple as getting them to share with you about themselves. Because as they share with you about themselves, they tell you their deepest, darkest secrets. They tell you things that they never talked to anyone else about. They tell you things they didn't tell their best friend about or their family about. They tell you things that they thought they would take to their grave. And they begin to build a trust in you and confide in you their feelings and emotions, their thoughts, their wants, their desires, right? And as they continue putting on you all of these things about themselves and talking to you about themselves, they begin becoming more and more emotionally invested in you. Meaning for them to walk away from you, they feel like they have actually given a lot of themselves to you, even on an emotional and spiritual level. And so it becomes harder to walk away from you because they become attached to that investment they've put in you. Okay? Right? They become attached to how close you've become. They become attached to the connection and the bond they feel that they've made with you through sharing themselves with you. Okay? So the reason I say that is that you can easily play the trick on yourself of oversharing. Now you're overly invested in someone who hasn't shared anything. Because if you're oversharing, that means the other person is undersharing. The guy is undersharing, which means he's less emotionally invested in you. And then what happens when he's less emotionally invested in you? Now he's the one thinking logically instead of emotionally, thinking about, how am I going to play this? So she's oversharing. In the process of oversharing, she's telling me everything she wants. This is great. She's talking about what type of man she wants. She's talking about what type of relationship she wants. I actually just realized that I could just use all of this oversharing she's doing. I could use this to my advantage and get what I want from her because she's literally telling me how to get it from her. She's literally telling me what the secret formula is to get to her Squirtle. And as she's over, you're just sitting there yapping, continuing to yap. And he's thinking to himself, wow, this is great information. This is absolutely amazing information. He's also less invested because he doesn't have to be. He's not sharing with you. And then he's also getting information from you that he can use against you. I know that sounds sinister, but I just want you to understand that's why these men are so good at hiding their hand and presenting themselves to you in a way before he sleeps with you, presenting themselves to you in a way that is most attractive and desirable to you, only for you to find out that it was never that, and that's never who he actually was. It was only who he thought he should be for you because that's what you said you want from him. Okay. Chrissy says, what if he shares back? That's good. You want to be in a position where that man overshares. So when I say this is one of the things making you unattractive to men, vice versa, what will make you more attractive to men and insanely attractive to them if you allow those men to overshare with you. I promise. Listen to me. Listen to me. I know you're like, what? You want him to overshare? You want him to yap his mouth off? He's not going to care. He's going to be bored. He's going to think I don't talk. He's going to think I don't speak. That's exactly it. Okay? You don't want to speak. You don't want to share. You just want to nod your head and feed him energy that he continues to share and put onto you. Why? Why? Because now that he has nothing to base you off of, he begins to project the most magnificent, amazing qualities onto you that you may or may not have. Okay? That's just what happens. He doesn't have anything real to fill your personality with. So he just fills it with this amazing Rapunzel from the tallest tower that he must come to the rescue of and save and marry. Okay? Now, I know some of you are like, but that's a projection. That's not the real me. He's not in love with the real me. I understand. But what also happens is as he gets to know the real you, because he's so attracted and desires you so much, now he acts the right way. And in the process of him courting you, he's actually being a masculine, intentional man because of how much he wants and desires you. Do you understand how that works? Okay. So I say that to say, when we're talking about if you want to be attractive instead of being unattractive, allow him to overshare with you. Sit back, relax, be in your feminine. All you have to do is sit back, smile, receive, okay? Laugh, right? Encourage him to continue sharing more and more. Make it about him. Listen, this is not just a man thing. This is an everyone thing. But the best way to get what you want from people is to make them feel like it's about them and to make them feel like they're the ones benefiting. And like I said, this is an everybody thing. This is even a business thing. For those of you who are interested in business or do marketing or anything like that, you know that good business is not about me coming to you and telling you how I'm going to benefit from our partnership, from us going into business together. Good business, if you really want to get that partnership, is about me going to you and telling you all the different ways you'll benefit from our partnership and how you'll succeed and what your life will look like in the next 3, 4, 5 years. Okay? Right? If I was selling you a book and I sat here and I said, hey guys, I want you to read my new book. It's called The Player's Manual. And in the Player's Manual, basically, if you buy it for $5, I'm going to make so much money off of this book that I'm going to be rich and I'm going to buy a mansion and, my life's going to be so good and I'm going to be able to buy my dream house and everything I ever wanted is going to be available to me if you buy this book. You'll be like, what? You'll be like, what? Like, I don't care. Like, why would I buy the book so that you can live in a mansion that doesn't benefit me? But if I sit here and tell you, in this book, you're going to learn how to manipulate men. You're going to learn how to be chased by men. You're going to learn how to be desired by every single man you come across. You're going to learn how to get men crawling on glass for you and wanting to sniff your butthole. You'll be like, whoa. You're telling me I'll get all of that just by reading the book? Where do I sign up? Where do I buy the book? Right? And it's as simple as changing the perspective from being about me to being about you. Because that allows you to be invested in what's going on here. Okay? So that is the vice versa if you want to stop being unattractive and be attractive instead. Okay? So number 1 was oversharing. Number 2, we have trauma dumping. Now, trauma dumping, I'm laughing because it's sad, but it's funny. Okay. Trauma dumping is very similar to oversharing, but it comes in a more specific package. Trauma dumping is something that trust me, we've all been there. When you're going through something and you're building a relationship with someone that you're romantic with, especially at the beginning, the natural instinct is to be like, especially for you as women, right? You're emotional beings, is to want to share, talk more, let him know all the things you're going through and that's going on with you. Here's the problem though. Okay. When you trauma dump on people, how do I say this in a way that will make sense? Yesterday, let me go back to yesterday. We talked about how people will begin to mirror the energy you project outwardly naturally. Okay. So in the span of you dating someone, right? If you're going on a date with someone and you approach that date with a lot of energy and excitement, enthusiasm that you want to learn more about the person, what's going to happen is they're going to mirror that energy of you, right? It's going to bring their energy up and they're going to become enthusiastic and be interested and be locked in, right? So I say that to say, when you trauma dump on people, the energy you're going to be projecting outwardly when you're trauma dumping on people is miserable, sad, upset, just angry, just mad at the world, okay, or whatever it is you're going through, depressed, right? And there's nothing wrong with going through things, but I want you to understand, remember, what did we say at the beginning? We said people don't remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel. Remember? Okay? So if you're projecting outwardly this sad, depressing, upset energy because of all these things you've been through and all these sad things and how your life is so sad and how your life is so miserable and how nobody likes you, nobody treats you right, nobody takes care of you, and everything in your life is going bad, right? You can even feel it when I'm saying it like that. You can even feel it coming out of me where it's just like, this is sad. You know, this makes me feel sad. This makes me feel upset as well. And listen, it's outside of the three-dimensional. You know, we love to talk about the spiritual here, right? And as that comes out of you, he begins to receive that. And so what does he walk away from your date or your hangout feeling? Sadness, upset, depressed, anger, right? Like all of the feelings and emotions that you projected outwardly, he now starts to mirror that and feel that, right? And now that is what he remembers you as. Not necessarily remembers you as a sad, depressed person, but when he thinks back to the feelings that he had, this is even on a subconscious level. Obviously, men aren't emotionally intelligent enough to realize this is what it is. But when he thinks back to what he felt like when he was around you, he thinks back to the feelings he felt from you and the energy he felt from you while on the date. And if he starts thinking to himself, well, okay, so I went on this date and I was super excited and happy and wanted to spend a lot of time with her. Then by the time we were actually on the date, I just remember feeling so sad and upset and depressed. And by the time I left, I was like in a horrible mood after. What do you think he's going to eat? What do you think where his brain's going to go? He's going to start saying to himself, well, maybe I shouldn't hang around her because the feelings that I get when I'm around her are all negative. Right? Especially at the beginning, right? He's going to start associating you with all of those feelings that he no longer wants to feel. Okay. Are you guys following me so far? Does that make sense? Or are you guys like, this is a load of garbage. This don't make just a lick of sense. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys? By the way, I got 3 streams going on today. We got the TikTok stream, we got the YouTube like horizontal stream, and we got a YouTube vertical stream. So plenty of options for you guys to watch me on today, okay? Does that make sense though to you guys so far, right? Why that's important? Okay? Very, very important that we understand how trauma dumping can negatively affect your situation here, okay? So Anitra said, bursting my bubble, but I need it. It's okay. Okay. We're all learning. Okay. We're all learning, including myself. Okay. So number 1 was oversharing. Number 2, we had trauma dumping. Number 3, seeking validation. Okay. You know, we talk about seeking validation a whole bunch on this show and why it's bad. It's very unattractive. When you're seeking validation, we'll talk about insecurity more specifically in a bit. When you're seeking validation, even if it's from him, what that communicates to him is you don't have confidence in yourself. You don't believe in yourself. You don't even have wholeness within yourself, which is why you're constantly worrying about what I think of you, okay? Seeking validation translates to you're always in a frantic. In a frantic's not even a word. You're always discombobulated, right? Thinking about what it is I think of you. Do I like you? Do I want you? Do I want to be with you? Do I desire you? Oh, you didn't text me back for a couple of minutes. You took 30 minutes extra to text me back instead of 15 minutes. And now I think you don't like me. Do you still like me? Right? That type of energy, that type of approach is very unattractive. Very unattractive. Think about, listen, just think about this for a second. Picture what his favorite IG model or celebrity crush would be acting like if they went on a date with him. Do you think his favorite IG model or celebrity crush would be sitting there like, do you like me today? I just feel like today you don't like me anymore. You like take so much longer to text me back and it feels like you don't like me anymore. I'm sad now. I feel like you just hate me. I feel you think I'm disgusting, right? Do you think his favorite IG model, his favorite celebrity crush is going to be talking to him like that? Or will his favorite IG model or celebrity crush be like, look, if you're not ready to sniff my butthole like all the other thousands of men, please get out of my sight. I don't have time for this. You're only taking me to Nobu instead of taking me to an 8-star restaurant. Get out of my face. There's plenty of men ready to donate me $10,000 for my existence. Okay. Get out of my face. Right? Because she doesn't care about what he thinks of her, because she knows that she's amazing. She hears it all the time and she knows it to be true. And there's plenty of men who will gladly worship her at her feet if you're not ready to do so. So it doesn't matter to her how you feel about her. She knows how amazing she is. And I give you that example because I want you to understand how the approach drastically changes how attractive or unattractive you become. Why? Because the guys they believe in whatever hype you have for yourself. Okay? Men believe in the hype you have for yourself. If you don't believe in your own hype, the men don't believe it either. Okay? And this, like I said at the very beginning, it has nothing to do with your looks, has nothing to do with your dump truck, has nothing to do with your voluptuous yitties, right? This is all up here. The men believe in your own hype. If you think the ish, the men believe that as well. If you think that you're absolutely worthless and that nobody likes you and that nobody's interested in you and you're begging for it, you have to beg someone for attention, that's exactly what they'll see from you and receive from you, and they'll believe in what you believe in. And then they'll say to themselves, why the heck am I with the girl that no one wants? Why the heck am I putting all my time and energy into the girl that no one wants to be with? Why the heck am I sitting around here trying to chase after the girl that literally no one wants to chase after? Because if I get her, what does that say of me? Anyone could. Actually, anyone could, and no one even wants to still, even though anyone could. So what does that say about me? I'm the guy that got the girl that no one wanted. So I'm just as valueless. You see how that works? Okay. And so you become very unattractive to men when you are seeking validation. Okay. Because as you seek that validation, it just tells them that you don't even believe in your own hype, which is exactly why you're hoping that I will be the one to validate you and tell you how amazing you are, that your self-esteem can actually be where it's supposed to be. Okay. And newsflash for you, it doesn't require a man to tell you how. Listen, for those of you who are talking about, I'm such an independent woman, I don't need no man, I don't need no this, because that's the culture nowadays. For those of you who feel like that, you shouldn't give a damn whether he validates you or not. You should know that you are that. You understand what I'm saying? And you have to actively project that and walk around like that. Okay. Now I know that we're obviously discussing 7 mistakes making you unattractive to men, but I also want you to understand that everything that makes you attractive to men, even in the process of learning that, none of those things are actually about doing more things for men. Okay. That's the amazing genius part about all of this, is that all the things that make you more attractive to men are actually focused on yourself and investing into bettering yourself. And that's what makes you more attractive to the men. It's not really about doing more for the men. Okay. So it's not like, oh, to make yourself more attractive to men, get on your hands and knees and start scrubbing the floor. And whoever can scrub the floor the best will be the most attractive to the men. Oh, go to the kitchen and chef up a meal, put salt and and vinegar and all this good stuff inside your meal. And whoever can cook the best will be the most attractive. No. It's all about investing into yourself, which is good in the end anyways. And in the process of you investing into yourself and building your own confidence, the men chase after you naturally. You don't even have to do anything. right? Chrissy said your examples have me so tickled. That's funny, right? So very important. Seeking validation was number 3. So oversharing was number 1. Then trauma dumping was number 2. Seeking validation, number 3. And number 4, we have no mystery. No mystery. Okay? So I talked about oversharing, and obviously I talked... That was a big one. I talked about oversharing, and obviously I talked about trauma dumping. When I talk about all of those things, they're leading into having no mystery. So they're kind of one and the same. When there's no mystery about you, because all you're doing is yapping, telling him your life story 24/7, always making it about you, while that feels good for you, what happens is there becomes nothing left to discover about you, because you're always sharing everything. I woke up today and I brushed my teeth. Hey, look, I'll send you a picture of my toothpaste. You want to see that? Oh, what should I do today? I'm doing this today. I'm doing that today. Oh, I'm going to take a shower at exactly 9:35 a.m. You want to see? Look how many water droplets are falling on my back. I'm going to Snapchat you everything that's going on in my life. Hey, I'm going to Snapchat you my lunch. You want to see the Brussels sprouts I'm eating today? I'm eating sweet potato fries today. You want to see? Oh, this was so gross. I didn't like this one. I know for you that you feel like you're building a closer bond with him when you're talking to him 25/8, right? I said 25/8, even more than 24/7, okay? And I know that you feel like the connection is so deep when you spend absolutely 0 minutes and 0 seconds away from him or not speaking to him. But what's actually happening is you're literally making yourself less attractive to him, because there's absolutely no mystery to you or the relationship as it relates to you. Because you tell him everything, you share with him everything, and so he never has any space to sit back and say, I want to know more. Like I almost want to give you an example of like when you begin to overshare with someone, right? When there's mystery to you, okay? When there's mystery to you, I want you to just picture, let's say this is you, right? My right hand is you. I want you to picture when there's mystery to you, you kind of like lean back like this. And because there's mystery to you and he wants to know more, he kind of leans forward like this, because he's like, I need to see what's going on here. I want to check this out. I got to know more about you. But as you overshare, you trauma dump, you talk to him 24/7, you never give him a break from you, and there's no mystery about you. You're kind of the one leaning forward. And so what does he do? Oh, actually, I don't need to know as much. Actually, you're telling me a lot. Actually, you're sharing. Actually, can you back up a little bit? Actually, this is a bit too much. Actually, we're a bit too close. Actually, I don't get space. Can I have some space? Right? And you're just like leaning forward constantly, right? As a woman, you should always be on the, I don't even want to call it defensive, but you should be in a relaxed state, not an offensive state. Leave the offensive state to the masculine men. I'm assuming you guys like masculine men if you're here, okay? If you like feminine men, this might not be the show for you. But assuming you like masculine men, they're meant to be on the offensive, not you. Whenever you're oversharing, can we go on dates? Why don't you take me out? Why don't you treat me like you treat the other girls? You love your ex more than you love, right? Whenever you start pushing forward and doing all, you're on the offensive, okay? You need to be sitting back, relaxing, and holding your water. You don't got to share too much. You don't got to go over the top, and allow him to be the one that's coming to you. Hey, when can we go out? Hey, when can we spend more time together? Hey, I want to take you here. Hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want to talk more. I want to text more. I want to do this more. I want to call more. Can I call you? Can I call you 3 times a day? Can I call you 7 times a day? Can I call you every single day? And you just sit back, you relax, you hold your water. You don't even have to offer him anything. Okay? I tell you guys this all the time. You don't have to be offering men nothing. Sometimes you guys feel that subconscious pressure that, oh, because I feel like he's on the offensive, if I don't show him how much I like him, or if I don't give him something in return like Squirtle, or show him that I'm super interested in him, then he'll get uninterested in me and he'll walk away from it. No, hold your water, stay put, allow him to continue being on the offensive. When you guys have no mystery, it's very unattractive to the men because they have no reason to be on the offensive. They have no reason to want to discover more about you. I want you to understand, men actually, the girls that they like to be on the offensive and feel like they're on the hunt for you. They enjoy that feeling. I don't know if you guys actually realize that. Maybe social media, TikTok, IG, all this good stuff has like fried your brain and made you think that men don't actually enjoy chasing after women and being masculine and being on the hunt. Now, when I say chasing, I'm not talking about desperately chasing kitty cat around. I just mean pursuing the woman that he actually wants to be his wife. You understand what I'm saying? Men enjoy liking a girl, wanting her, desiring her, courting her, taking her out, doing things like they enjoy that process. However, if there's no mystery to you or the groundwork is not set, it becomes very hard to continue feeling that same hunger and desire. You understand what I'm saying? Right? And they naturally want to feel that. They don't want to feel unattracted to you. They don't want to feel like they're the one on the defensive or they're the one in the relaxed state because you're the one on the offensive. You understand what I'm saying? This is why it's very important. I talked about oversharing and I talked about trauma dumping, and they all kind of fit together to create no mystery within you because you're so busy trying to tell him everything at once. This is the problem. Some of you, we've talked about Disney princess syndrome in the past, so some of you should be familiar with that concept already. But the idea that your relationships are meant to be, as soon as he meets you, you guys jump right into everything. And because, it's you guys are meant to be, or this is the relationship for you, or this is the one, that means that everything should happen instantaneously. Meaning you guys should sleep together as soon as possible. You guys should sleep over at each other's house as soon as possible. Spend 7 days a week together as soon as you meet each other and realize you like each other. And everything has to be fast and super intense right at the beginning. But what happens is when you approach relationships with that mindset, right? You're the one. You end up being the one on the offensive and you end up leaving no mystery left because you're so busy trying to make everything happen right then and there in this one single second because you think in your favorite Disney princess story, it seems like they fall in love in 5 minutes. So that's how my life should be. Newsflash, your favorite Disney princess movie, right? Your favorite teen drama, your favorite Wattpad story, your favorite smut book only takes place over a short period of time, and it's a dramatization of real life. Did you hear what I said? It's a dramatization of real life. Did you hear what I said? It's a dramatization of real life, meaning it's not real life. Okay? It's not real life. Because if it was actually an accurate representation of real life, they would be talking about how that person ate cereal in the morning and had a bagel for brunch and went and ate spaghetti and meatballs for dinner. Okay? All the stuff that you don't care about, right? It's a dramatization of real life, not an accurate depiction of real life. I say that to say, don't be so consumed by how your Disney princess movies and smut books and Wattpad stories read that you forget that in real life, in the process of building a relationship, there is a process of allowing him to continue to discover you, not just jumping into things right away and trying to be as intense as possible and recreate what happened in your Disney princess movie in 5 minutes, that you don't realize that you're actually working against yourself and making yourself unattractive to that guy. Okay? Tab said, me taking notes, yet I'm single. That's fine. Now you'll be, when you go out into the dating world, you'll be way more equipped to get what you want out of these men. That's what the Players Club is all about. The Players Club is about getting what you want out of relationships. Okay, and realizing how that happens. Instead of sitting around waiting for someone. Listen, men aren't going to come out of the sky and change your life. Your Prince Charming is out there waiting for you, but you actually have to know what he looks like, know how he talks, know how he acts, know where he hangs out, and do the work on yourself that you can be the most attractive and desirable to him, that he can want you and treat you how he's supposed to treat you. It's not just going to be you sitting on your couch eating chocolate bars and then Prince Charming is going to knock on your door and take you to a land far, far away. That's not how it's going to work. Okay. So number 1 was oversharing. Number 2 was trauma dumping. Number 3, we have seeking validation. Number 4, no mystery. And number 5, we have insecurity. Now, earlier, I talked about seeking validation and how that shows him that you're insecure or you lack confidence in yourself, which is why you're looking to get that from me by having me validate you. Insecurity as a whole is unattractive to men. I know some of you are like, but I just want to be honest about how I feel. I want to be honest about the things I'm insecure about. I want to be honest that I don't feel the best about myself. Cool. That's cool. Keep that to yourself, okay? You don't need to be out here spilling to people, especially the men that you're trying to date, how insecure you are about every little thing. Because you know what happens the moment you tell them how insecure you are about every little thing? That's actually what they begin to notice about you. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. Has someone ever pointed out to you, I want to ask you guys a question because maybe this will better help you understand this concept. Has someone ever, like, let's say you went out with a friend, it doesn't even have to be a romantic partner. Have you ever gone out with a friend on just a hangout or whatever, and you're spending some time with them? Let's say you've spent like an hour with them, and then they tell you, oh my gosh, I can't get rid of this pimple on my forehead. It's so big, it's so large, it's so gigantic. I wish I could just pop it right now. And then you think to yourself, damn, I'm seeing the pimple now that you're saying that, but this entire time that we were spending time together, I never even really noticed the pimple. That's crazy. But as soon as they say it and they point their attention to it, now you can actually notice it. And you're like, damn, that actually is a really big pimple. Damn, that actually really is pussy. Damn, you actually really need to pop that, right? How many times has it taken someone pointing out something to you before you actually take notice of it? And then after they point it out to you is when you take notice of it. And now you can actually, like, your attention's actually on it and you're like, whoa, I didn't even realize that before, but yeah, it's actually pretty obvious. Okay. SH says yes, right? Anitra says bringing attention to something that wasn't noticeable. Okay. Right. How many of you have been in that situation? Sky says facts. Right. And the reason I give you guys that example is because, excuse me. The reason I give you guys that example is because the moment you begin to blurt out and share out all of these insecurities you have, you only make it easier for the guy to pinpoint your insecurities. And then what happens? He no longer has this idea in his imagination that you're this beautiful, amazing, flowing, awesome, succulent, just majestic princess. Now he's kind of seeing all the ways you're like average or below average or regular. You understand what I'm saying? And that's all he can think about or see now. He can't unsee it because you've brought his attention to it. And remember, I always tell you guys, all of this stuff is really about perspective. Because you can have a guy who believes that his wife is the most beautiful girl alive. And he's like, yo, I can't get enough of this girl. She's so amazing. She's so awesome. And then other people might look at her and be like, bro, she's mid. But to him, he really means it when he's like, yo, I'm so attracted to her. She's so hot. She's so amazing. She's so beautiful. She's everything. Right? And so I say that to say, you have to get out of the mindset that other people are noticing your insecurities to the point where if you don't point them out or talk about them on a consistent basis, that is a bad thing or that's being dishonest. You can have insecurities and keep those insecurities to yourself, especially at the beginning. And whatever he manages to see, he can see, but that doesn't mean you have to come out and be like, I'm so insecure about all of this stuff. I can't even look at how bad I look. Look at how horrible I look. Look at how this I look. I don't have any confidence in my, right? Because they just kind of look at you and they're kind of like, it's the same thing as the seeking validation, right? They kind of look at you and they go, you don't even believe in your own hype, right? And I know for some of you, you might think, but I'm insecure about this. And maybe he might be able to help give me some confidence by telling me. The reality of it is, us men, when we have to convince you that you're beautiful, right? because you're constantly telling us how unattractive you are, how ugly you are, how fat you are, how overweight you are, how whatever you are, we stop. We start just saying it as a way to make you feel better instead of actually believing in ourselves. Because it stops being about what we actually feel genuinely, and it starts being about just making you happy and giving you some validation. I don't know if that makes any sense. Let me know in the chat if that made no sense, right? Because I can compliment you and say you are so beautiful. You have the most amazing, beautiful eyes, the most luscious, beautiful hair. I don't think I've ever met anyone as striking as you. And I can genuinely mean that. That's very different from you saying, I've got such an ugly face. Isn't my face so ugly? No, I'm ugly. I'm ugly. I'm ugly. And then I'm saying, no, you're beautiful. No, you look fine. No, you're gorgeous. As a way to soothe your pain instead of telling you that because that's how I genuinely feel towards you and about you. And so the insecurity becomes very unattractive because now I feel like I'm your personal, what's the word I'm even looking for? Confidence potion, that without me, you're going to be literally on the floor. You're not going to be able to withstand anything that life throws at you because you don't believe in yourself whatsoever. You have no confidence. You have no self-esteem. And if I'm not around you 24/7 to give you these low quality compliments and just blurt all of these things out so that you can hear them, then you're going to fall apart. That's very unattractive. Okay, I'll just put it like that. I don't want to be mean about it. That's very unattractive. Because, like, once again, I want you to compare it to what you think someone who was that man's dream girl, the guy you're thinking of, the guy you like, the guy you want to approach. I want you to think about a man's dream girl, what she would be like. Do you think she would be sitting, oh, I'm just so unattractive. Oh, nobody wants me. The men don't want me. The men don't look my way. I'm just so much worse than all the other girls. Right? They're going to be like, no, I'm the ish. All right. All the men, they love me. All the men are obsessed with me. And if you're not as obsessed with me as all the other men, listen, you're probably going to have to take a step back, but I'll just let you know the lineup is thousands of people long. So once you take a step back, you ain't going to see me for forever. So sucks. Right? Like that they're not going to have that same amount of insecurity because they're not seeking validation, because they don't need it. They have their own confidence within themselves. They don't need someone else to tell them who they are or what they're about or if they're good enough or not. Does that make sense, guys? Right? Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. Anisha says, I got to know that I'm that girl. I 100% agree. You have to know it and actually believe it, which is why I also talk to you guys about making sure that you're always doing things for yourself that make you feel fulfilled, that you find joy in, that you find happiness in. Because in the process of you figuring out what you're passionate about, figuring out what you enjoy, figuring out what gives you fulfillment in life, you will have other things that you focus your time and attention on. You'll also get into the habit of doing things for yourself. Doing things for yourself, not because you want to go and meet boys, not because you want to see more boys, not because you want to be around boys. You'll do them solely for yourself because that's what you want. Okay. And you'll begin to, what's going to happen is as you begin to do more things for yourself, that part of your brain that is looking for someone else to tell you, yeah, it's okay to do that. Yeah, you should do that. Yeah, that's the direction you should be going. You're going to start losing that part of your brain and you're going to start gaining the part that says, what do I want to do? How do I feel? What do I think? What direction do I want to go in? And as you continue to feed that part of your brain, you'll increase your confidence in your own decision-making and thought power, not relying on someone else to think for you, to speak for you, to direct you, that you're incapable of doing anything or feeling anything or being whole by yourself. Because the truth of the matter is, the men are not attracted to the women who don't feel whole by themselves. Okay. I know some of you are anxious, have anxious attachment styles, but I'll be the first to tell you, right? When that goes in anything extreme is bad. But when that goes into an extreme, it becomes very unattractive because without me, right? You don't have confidence. You don't have security. You're not whole. You don't even have happiness. You nothing about you works unless you have me, the boy. Okay? That puts way too much power in my hands that I can do anything I want with you because without me, you are lifeless. Okay? That's not a good thing. Because if without me, you are lifeless, then the first thing that I start thinking is, well, I don't have to hold any standards or expectations because you need me more than I need you. Actually, you need me way more than I need you. So why would I do the right thing just for the sake of doing the right thing when if I do the wrong thing, it's not like there's going to be any consequences for it. That's how people are. Okay. So oversharing was number 1, trauma dumping, number 2, seeking validation, number 3, no mystery, number 4, number 5, we have the insecurity, number 6. Oh God, this one I'm going to rant about. Number 6, you're always available. You know, I'm going to get mad about this. You know, I know for you, I'm going to put myself in your shoes, okay? I know for you as women, because I've heard all of you guys talk about your own situations and your own feelings and thoughts and all that good stuff. I know for you, it feels like you're growing closer to a person when you're able to talk to them 24/7, see them 24/7, be around them 24/7, especially at the beginning of the relationship. You just want to jump right into it, make it be super intense, feel like you guys are married before you're even married. I know that's what you want. That's what you enjoy. That's how you feel. I'm going to tell you from the opposite perspective. When you are always available, it's the easiest way to make yourself unattractive. Why? Because we are forced as men to come to one of 2 conclusions. The first conclusion is you are always available to me because I am your entire world, right? Nothing matters to you more than me, which means when I call you, when I text you, when I tell you I need you, you will come running and abandon everything else that is important to you because nothing else is important to you as I am. What happens is now I know I have way more power than I should and a lot of power over you. So what happens is I slowly start taking advantage of all of that power. Because without me, you are nothing. Like I said earlier, you're lifeless. You don't have anything. I am the most important thing to you, which is why you're always available to me. The second possibility, the moment you're always available that we might think, is that you're always available to me because no one else wants you or is competing with me for your time. I'm not just talking about other guys. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about passions that you have, a job, a career, things that you would spend your time doing that would be prioritized over me, even at some points, even if we're dating, right? You have other priorities going on in your life that you're not sitting around available to me whenever I pick up the phone and call you. Okay? I know in your mind you're thinking, but if I'm always available to him, he'll probably like me more because I'm so easy to get along with, because I'm so easy to see, because it takes no work or effort to plan with me and see me. No, it's actually the opposite. Right? As available you are, you become less scarce. And we've talked about relationships as it relates to, I know you guys hate thinking of relationships in a transactional way, but if we're talking about the transaction of supply and demand, like in business, right? If there's too much supply and not enough demand, then you're not going to have a very valuable product. Vice versa, right? If there's way too much demand and not enough supply, then you're also not going to be turning a proper profit, right? You're going to be out of whack. You have to balance those 2 things, okay? Now, when it comes to being always available, that means you have way too much supply that you can never meet that amount of demand. What I mean by that is if you're always available, that means the only place for him to go from there is to have days where you're available and he does not want to spend time with you. This is very bad. This is very bad, very bad. You do not want to be in a position where you're in a relationship where you're available to someone more than they even want to spend time with you. Very, very bad. Especially for you as a woman. Remember, I talked about the men want to be on the hunt. The men want to be on the chase for you. The men want to be pursuing you. They can't pursue you if your supply to them is more than even their desire to pursue. Do you understand how that works? The desire can only exist in a place where you are not. If you are readily available 24/7, there is no room or space for him to desire. How can I desire someone who's glued to me? How can I desire someone who's literally on my arm 24/7, staring at me like, hey, are you going to look at me now? Are you going to look at me now? Hey, can you see me here? I'm over here. Can you look at me now? I'm here right now. Wakes up in the morning. I'm here right now. I'm still here. We went on a date last night and I'm here still, right? In the afternoon. I'm still here. You want to go out together? You want to go shopping together? Me and you will watch TV together. We'll do everything together. We'll shower together. We'll live together. I'll live in your body. I'll live in your skin. I'll be you. I'll take your brain. I'll implant it inside me. We'll be one person. I know you think that's cute. I know you think that sounds good in a movie or on an Instagram reel. But in reality, I want you to understand that the only place to go, from there is for him to say to himself, gee, I actually don't want to spend every waking moment of every second with her. I actually do want at least a couple minutes to breathe. Okay? And the moment your man or that man that you're dating starts thinking like that, you're only going downhill from there. Right? Because all the minutes he spends thinking, gee, I'd rather be away from her than with her right now. That feeling only grows the more you go on the offensive and push to spend more and more and more and more and more time. And all that time you spend with him, all that supply you're giving him, that decreases all of that demand, because how can he desire something that's right there readily available to him 24/7? Okay, that becomes very unattractive very, very, very quickly. Right? These are all important, but this is honestly probably the most important one. If you do not know how to manage your availability to him, okay, I'm talking in a physical sense, in a spiritual sense, in an emotional sense, all that good stuff, you will be losing and he will be very unattracted to you. Okay, now I told you I was going to go on a rant because this stuff makes me mad. I'm also referring to, when I pull this out, what I'm going to start talking about. I'm also referring to this, guys. I'm also referring to this. Do not make yourself readily available to men over the phone. You will kill his attraction towards you. I know that you think being a pen pal and a texting buddy is so much fun. You know what's even more fun? Getting a guy to actually take you out on a real 3-dimensional date. Not an e-date. Okay? Not a text date. Okay? Taking you out for real. Right? You guys make the mistake. I don't want to get mad because it makes me mad. Make the mistake. You Snapchat 24/7, or it's WhatsApp for you, or it's Instagram, or it's TikTok, or it's text message, whatever your choice is. And you're 24/7 available to him all the time. So he never gets a break from you. As soon as you walk out of the doorframe of his apartment, you're texting him like a maniac. So what do you think that does for his psyche? Right? Remember, I just told you when there's way too much supply and not enough demand, he begins thinking, I'd actually rather spend less time around her or with her, rather than I want to spend more time with her. That's the problem. You see, the same way that you feel like you're connecting with someone over text, the guys feel the same way. The problem is it's a trick for both of you, and it's a facade for both of you because you're not actually spending any real time together. That's quality, where you're building the relationship and building the connection. However, you both feel like you're spending time together. And so what happens is you kill his attraction towards you because he feels like he's with you 24/7, even though he's not. And because he feels like he's with you 24/7, when it comes to finally seeing you and taking you out on a date and going out with you, all he can think to himself is, I already talk to her all the time. Do we really need to go out on a date? Is that really necessary? I mean, I talk to her 24/7, and it's not like even if we don't go out on this date, we're still going to text. We're still going to do some FaceTimes and some phone calls, right? It satisfies that hunger when you're always available. I told you the only place for him to go is down from there. So you have to make sure you're as scarce as possible. Okay? As scarce as possible. And you don't even have to be disingenuous in the process of you being scarce. You can be scarce to him in an honest way where it's like, no, you actually just have things to do. You actually just have friends to hang out with. You actually just have places to go that don't include just, hanging out with him and spending time with him and sitting and watching Netflix with him. Like your life is actually existing and rolling and moving outside of just being with him. That's good. I told you, it communicates to him he doesn't have enough power in the relationship that he can do and treat you however he feels like treating you. Because you have plenty of things that you can move forward to and move on to if he's not prepared to act the right way. It humbles them, right? It humbles them. I am not your entire life and your entire world and your everything. That's good. That's good. Now I'm humble to the fact that I can't just mistreat you or disrespect you or say whatever to you. I actually have to stand up straight and realize that I got to treat this with respect, because if I don't, you'll very easily walk away from this, right? It instills a healthy amount of fear that forces him to be like, I either got to treat this right and be correct with this or be correct with this. There's no other option. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Thado said he conquered you, no challenge, right? Boring, right? He would push you away more. Exactly, right? How many days in advance should he make a date? I would always advise you guys, if you're talking about like making a man schedule with you, I would always advise you guys, no less than like 5 days. 5 days is a good amount for him to be like, okay, in order for me to get you available to me, right? I'm going to have to plan 5 days in advance, right? 5 days is enough that like for him to, if he's really serious about it and he's really looking forward to his schedule like that, 5 days ahead is a good healthy amount where it's not like you just made it up and it actually seems like you have things going on, but you're still interested enough that you're not going to make it, I'm available in 3 months, where it just seems like you're not very interested in actually even going out on the date. It's a nice, healthy balance. So if you want an actual day count, I would say 5 days. In terms of scheduling, that's a good amount that he can recognize. You're not going to be. I don't even want you answering these phone. Where are you at? What you doing right now, yo? Can I pull up on you right? Don't even acknowledge those. You shouldn't even. If he's calling you past 12 a.m., you're asleep. You have things to do in the morning. You're asleep. You're asleep. You're not on the phone waiting for his calls and his texts that he can call you at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. What you doing right now at the second? I know I ain't speak to you all day, but I'm trying to come over right now. Or I'm trying to get you to come over right now. What? You been asleep. You snoring like this. You're fast asleep. You're in REM state. You ain't answering no calls at 1 a.m. You have much better things to be doing than sitting around waiting for him to call you or realize that he wants to hang out with you, okay? If he realizes he wants to hang out with you, there's plenty of ways he can actually schedule his time with you, because you got way better things to do than sit around on the phone waiting for his phone call and be readily available whenever he needs you as if you're Amazon, okay? You're not Amazon. Okay. You're not DoorDash. You don't show up at his door in 30 minutes or less. You must be scheduled. Okay. Very important. Everyone in the chat say, I must be scheduled. You're not DoorDash. All right. Erica says that's my problem. Ivy says I don't reply after 8 p.m. It's good. Listen, I tell you, I'm a man telling you this. This humbles people. This humbles people. When they realize you're not a pizza pocket. You don't get microwaved in 20 seconds and then you show up at his door. They respect you. This is the crazy part. Most of being more attractive to men is also having them respect you. As crazy as that sounds, right? When they respect you, they're attracted to you. When they don't respect you, they're mostly unattracted to you. They'll use you, but they won't respect you and they won't be very attracted to you. Because when they're truly attracted to you and they're genuinely interested in you and they genuinely want to pursue you, they'll respect you. And they trust me, don't let these men pressure you or make you feel pressured that, oh, your unavailability or your scarcity is a bad thing. Why are you always busy? You never make time. You never do this. Da, 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 da. Don't let them guilt you into being a pizza pocket. Don't let them guilt you into being DoorDash. Okay. You're a slow burn. You're a slow cook. If you're ready to invest, you're going to sit down. You're going to be a patient little boy and you're going to invest over time. This ain't going to happen in a couple of days. That's why I tell you guys, don't be hanging around with the microwave men that are hoping to press add 30 seconds to you and then you'll be hot and ready in 30 seconds. That's what microwave men are looking for. You're not looking to attract or be in a relationship with microwave men. You're looking to be in a relationship with someone who's actually prepared to take the necessary steps to grow with you and be patient and schedule you and take his time in getting to know you. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So oversharing, number 1. Number 2 is trauma dumping. Number 3 is seeking validation. Number 4, none of the mystery. Number 5, we have insecurity. Number 6, always available. And number 7, we have no competition. Okay. Now, I want us to be very clear. When men want to pursue you, they want to pursue you because they see you as valuable. They want to make you their wife, cool, all that good stuff. If they see you as valuable, they're not blind to the fact that will also intrinsically just means that will also mean that you are also valuable to other people. Okay? If a guy likes you, thinks you're beautiful, thinks you're awesome and amazing, it will not be a mystery or a coincidence to him that other people also find you valuable, interesting, beautiful, amazing, awesome. When you don't allow men to see that there is a competition for you, and listen, you don't even have to get super toxic with this. You don't got to be like, oh, look at this guy that DM'd me. I want to show you this. Look at how beautiful all these other men that are complimenting me. Like, there's ways to allow people, men specifically, to see that there are others in competition with him for you. And you can do it in very subtle ways. It doesn't have to be super crazy or anything like that. Okay. When you're going out to parties together or you're going out wherever you're going and people come up to you and talk to you, there's nothing wrong with holding a friendly conversation to just inspire that little bit of jealousy. Remember, I tell you guys there's a good balance of everything, right? And even what we consider the negative emotions or things that are bad can be good when used the right way. Jealousy can be used in a healthy amount to remind someone, hey, you gotta make sure you doing the right thing, you saying the right thing. Hey, there's other people that want me. There's other people very interested in me. So if you want a direct example, I would advise you, if you're going out somewhere, let's say if you're going to a club, bar, somewhere to dance, whatever, you're going with your romantic partner and someone strikes a conversation with you, or for whatever reason, you find yourself in conversation with another man. Okay. I want you to actually let that conversation rock out. Even if he's right there, let him feel the awkwardness of standing there while another guy is having a conversation with you and you're holding this conversation. You guys are laughing, giggling. Now, you don't have to go overboard touching him, and oh, you're so funny. No, you don't got to go overboard like that. You got to make it toxic, but just let him feel that. Just let him, the feeling I'm talking about. Just that feeling. You're just like, you're not doing anything wrong, but why are you talking? Like, what? Why are you even talking to this dude? Like, there's no need for you guys to be talking about how you guys are both speak Italian and now you guys talking Italian to each other and you talking about the food. Why are you smiling? Why are you smiling? You should only be like, just let him feel that. It's just that little bit, just that hint of jealousy, right? Because it does two things. It reminds him that other people want you. And it also reminds him that if he doesn't act right, or do the right thing, there will be men that will happily take his place. It's good to humble. And it's good for him to feel that jealousy towards you, that he continues being like, I gotta stay on the hunt. I can't relax, right? I can't sit back and relax and think I've already made it to my destination. I need to stay on the hunt. It's good for them to feel that tinge every now and again where they're just like, oh, I'm just a little bit jealous. I'm just a little bit irked. You know what I mean? And especially for guys too, because they don't even like to talk about it. They don't like to say, because he'll be driving back. He'll be like, that motherfucker, they talking together. They giggling, they laughing and they giggling. What the hell they giggling about? He's driving in the car. You could just see it in his eye. The hell they giggling about? They was giggling for I can't believe this girl giggling with that dude talking about the pesto sauce at the restaurant. And you'll be asking him, "Are you okay?" I'm fine. So like, just tell me, yo. Like, tell me, like, just help me understand. Like, why is it that you talking about spaghetti with a dude for mad long? You don't even like when we at the crib. You don't even be interested in cooking. Now all of a sudden you mad interested in yo. I don't even, whatever. And you'd be like, are you mad or something? I don't care nothing about your damn pesto sauce. All right. Keep your funky pesto over there. I don't even care. You want him to feel that. It's good. It's very good. Okay. Now, vice versa. If he's not feeling that, right? If he's not feeling like there's any competition for you, he just gets to sit back and be like, I guess no one else wants my girl. I guess no one else is interested in my girl. I guess I'm the best thing she can do. I guess she's super happy with me and there's no one else competing with me for her time. Cool. Right? I know for you, this is why I say you got to step outside of yourself. I know for you, you're thinking, but that's toxic. Like, why wouldn't I want my man to feel super secure? Why would I want him to feel like there's anyone in competition? Why would I want him to feel like there's any possibility he could lose me? I want him to feel like I'm always going to be with him forever and ever and ever. It sounds good in a utopia that we don't live in. But unfortunately, all that leads to is complacency, where he begins to feel like there's nothing left to work for, right? Because you're already his forever and there's no one else that even wants you that he would have to compete with. And that when that complacency sets in, he stops doing all of the things that he was once doing to try to make you see him and want to be in a relationship with him and know that he's the man for you. Okay? He stops feeling like he has to do those things because he doesn't, right? He just feels like he's already gotten to where he needs to go. Okay? Victoria says, how exhausting? Well, this is the thing. Think about the times in your own life. This is not just a man thing, but think about the times in your own life where you found yourself uninterested in someone over time. Okay? Think to yourself. Think literally, like, just do this for yourself. Think about the guys you've liked the most in your span of relationships in life. And think about how most of the guys you've liked the most. Let me know in the chat if this is true for you. I don't want to just be like I'm talking about, but have the guys you've liked the most in your life given you the most anxiety and you felt the most insecure about in terms of your relationship? And then vice versa, have the guys that you were the least interested in given you the most security in your relationship? Right? What I mean by security, just meaning that you just didn't feel like you had to do anything more. You felt like you were the one, right? think about those two versions. The guys that you like the most giving you the most insecurity and anxiety, and the guys you like the least giving you the most security and no anxiety, right? I see Sky saying, yep. Tasha says facts, right? Rosie says no, sorry, right? Mel says agree. LG says yes, true. Kat says no. Judy says yes, always, right? Stutton says true, ouch, right? And that's the thing. Like you have to understand like how we are as human beings, so that you can understand how to use that to your advantage. There's nothing wrong with using that to your advantage, because that's how people operate. You understand what I'm saying? It's very hard to desire and want someone that doesn't give you a little bit of anxiety and insecurity, because when you feel too overly secure, too overly comfortable, there becomes nothing left to desire, right? The anxiety is also a function of the strong emotions you feel towards someone that consumes your mind. That's why I always tell you guys, it's not just about making someone feel a bunch of positivity, right? It's also understanding how negative emotions can trigger a particular mindset or approach where now they're like, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about her. I'm all consumed by her. She's always on my mind, right? That's what part of that obsession is about. Not just she's so amazing, but also the anxiety of like, I just don't feel secure. She's got other men. What is she doing? What's she spending her time doing, right? And they just and it forces them to continue going on the offensive. Okay? Cassie says, we do stuff to keep our excitement up. It's true, right? I always give you guys the example of, if I was your marriage counselor and you came to me as your marriage counselor, let's say you were trying to spark up your marriage. You guys had not had pineapples in a long time. There was no intimacy, and you're trying to figure out, hey, doctor, how can we gain back our spark in our relationship? How can we desire each other more? And let's say I was your marriage counselor and I told you guys, look, don't do anything. Just go back home and choose to desire each other forevermore, and that will solve all your problems. You'd be like, what? You'd be like, that's a ripoff. You just stole my money. Because us choosing to desire each other is not actually going to help either of us desire the other one more and create that spark. You actually need to give us actionable items that we can do so the other person will desire us more, right? And then we'll both desire each other and we'll have that spark back. If that's the case, then we're acknowledging that in order for men or women, in my case, to desire us, we actually have to do the work of doing the things that help the other person or other people desire us more. Okay? That's why for those of you that think, oh, it's all a game, it's all a game, it's all a game. I mean, you can think of it like that, but you can also think of it as, it only makes sense that I figure out what you find desirable and attractive, and then align myself with that if I want to be desirable and attractive to you. Imagine this. Okay, imagine I'm a man, right? I am a man. Imagine I'm sitting here and I'm like, guys, it's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. You see me? I'm an average guy with a minimum wage job. And it's so unfortunate because I lose all my women to the rich men with Porsches and Lamborghinis and mansions and huge houses. Why is it that the women can't want me if I'm a useless minimum wage a video game player that sits on the couch and does nothing with his life? I have no resources. I take the bus everywhere. Or I walk. Sometimes I don't have enough money in my bank account. But why can't the woman still love me even though I take the bus and I play video games? It's so sad. Why do they all want the rich men with resources and mansions and Porsches? How stupid would that sound? How stupid would that sound? Because what's the point of me complaining about how women want men with more resources when women are designed to want masculine men who can protect and provide? What use is it in me complaining about how it's so unfortunate that I actually have to go out, work, make money, gather resources that I can protect and provide for a woman? Wouldn't my energy better be served figuring out how I can go out, get some money, make something out of myself, become a successful man who can protect and provide, and then I can have access to all of the women that I possibly want? Why? Because they'll all desire me. Why? Because I can protect and provide a lot better than any other man can. Do you see how that works? And the moment I shift my energy from complaining about the fact that this is what women find desirable to figuring out what women find desirable and figuring out how I can align myself with that, my life becomes so much easier. Because as soon as I align myself with that, I no longer have any more woman problems or any problems attracting women. Now I get to have a plethora of options of partners, and I can sit here and pick out exactly what I want, right? What my preferences are, because I have so many different options at my disposal and so many high quality options. I make that example to say to you, it's the same thing for you, vice versa. Your energy is not best spent complaining about, it's a game. Why do we have to play so much games for men to desire us or want us or be interested in us? Why can't I just sit on my butt and eat chocolate bars and fried chicken and all the men desire me anyways? Rather than doing that, put your energy towards understanding what it is the men actually find interesting and attractive and desirable. And the more you align yourself with that, now you get to pick any single man that you want. And you can literally say to yourself, which husband do I feel like having? There's 3,500 sitting here begging to be with me. So I get to pick the richest, wealthiest, most handsome, tallest, amazing man that I can. I literally get to pick the best man. The best man wins, right? And you're a much happier camper because now you have a man worshiping you that can protect and provide, is tall, handsome, rich, all that good stuff, funny, all the good stuff that you want. Right? Juju says, okay, so we have to do all this and it's fine, but what do they have to do to be attractive to us? Juju and everyone else, this is what I want you guys to understand and never forget. You are here because you're trying to attract the man that you want in your life. Okay? Listen to what I'm saying. You're not here to focus your energy on all the men that you don't want. Okay, so when Juju said, what do they have to do to be attractive to us? You're not worried about the men being attractive to you. You're just focused on getting the man that you want. So the man that you find attractive, right? The man that you find attractive, just focus on attracting him. Don't worry about attracting all the other men who are not attractive to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't focus your energy on what the men you don't want are doing or not doing. Just focus your energy on what the men you do want are doing. That's all you need to worry about. Nothing else matters. You're not trying to be with those men you find unattractive. You're not trying to be with those men who can't protect and provide. You're not trying to be with those men who aren't in line with everything that you want in a relationship, which is why I tell you guys to write out a wish list of what you want in a relationship and what you want in a man, so that you can only be hyper focused on that and not focused on anything else going on. Social media, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, wherever it may be, right, will have you focused on everyone else's life and what everyone else is doing or not doing, that all you spend your time thinking about is all the things that you don't want, what you don't want to see, everything that's going on with everyone else, instead of sitting down with yourself and figuring out what you want for yourself in your relationships and only focusing on attracting and getting that. Everything else that is not that is irrelevant to you and your existence. Okay? Sometimes you guys got to be selfish in terms of not giving your time and energy to anything that does not serve you. Okay? And stop giving your time and energy to all the things that don't serve you or don't put you in a position to be where you want to be. You understand? Right? Juju says, make yourself attract what you desire. 100%. Right? Anisha in the YouTube chat says, Juju, go listen to the previous lives, right? We talked about stuff like that before, but it's okay. Juju might be new. It's okay. We're all learning. Okay? Anisha said you could tell who come to class and didn't do their homework. Nah, you funny. That's true. Right? Melissa earlier in the YouTube chat says, same with my cats, only want me for my resources, but I'm happy to oblige, right? And I see part of joining the Players Club is understanding that it's okay for you to come to the realization that part of love, okay, I just put it in quotes because people think that true love has to mean that you just truly love each other for the sake of loving each other. I want you guys to understand it's okay that love is really about how each of you are able to serve each other simultaneously. Okay? That's okay. And it doesn't necessarily make it any less genuine because your man serves you in a particular way that you need to be served in the relationship, and you serve your man in the particular way that he needs to be served in a relationship. And because your interests both align, you're in this relationship. Like, that's okay. Like, that doesn't mean your love is any less genuine because you both serve each other simultaneously, right? It's okay to have a partner that, hey, it's good for me to have you because you fulfill all the things that I need and I want. And same thing, vice versa for you. I'm with you because I fulfill all the things that you need and you want, and that's why we're together. Okay. Sometimes I think you guys get so bogged down with the idea, but it's not true or genuine if we're only with each other for what we can offer each other. Well, why else would you be with someone? You don't marry everyone you see on the street because not everyone on the street is going to serve you in your life in a way that actually benefits you. And at the end of the day, we're all looking out for ourselves and our own best interests. So if you realize that there is a way for you to find a relationship that is in your best interest, and then vice versa for them, you are in their best interest to be in a relationship with you because of what you offer, then you have, right? You have a mutual connection under which both parties are benefiting, and that's okay. That can still be love, even though you're both serving each other and benefiting each other. Like, that's not a crime, okay? Doesn't make it less genuine because you're both serving each other. Does that make sense to you guys, right? RSVP earlier says, I don't do dark and mysterious men no more. I'm booked and busy workaholic as a hopeless romantic. So many players out here, right? You don't have to do dark and mysterious, and you can even get the dark and mysterious guys talking. See, you guys are the smart ones here listening to me, talking to me, having a conversation with me. You understand what I'm saying? The people, the other women who are not ready yet to actually see a difference in their relationships will keep doing what they've been doing. They'll talk and yap the men's ears off. They'll share about themselves. They'll become so emotionally invested into the men, they won't realize that the men are sitting back and just plotting and figuring out how they can get Squirtle, right? You'll be the one asking good questions, getting him to talk, getting him to share, getting him to talk about his experiences and all that good stuff, to the point where you know everything you need to know and you've given him nothing in return. Meanwhile, all he's doing is investing and giving to you. And then you get to make a decision at the end of the day. Do you want to walk away or actually invest back into him as well and give him some Squirtle, right? And if you decide not to, you get to walk away scot-free without having given anything to him. And you feel empowered while other girls get used. So you're already on the right track just for being here and having this conversation with me. You understand what I'm saying? Right? So that's that. Now, let's hop into the Discord. It's Discord time. It's Discord time. It's Discord time. It's Discord time. And my package probably got delivered while we were on stream. So I'm going to set that up right after this. It's Discord time. It's Discord time. It's Discord time. Okay. Now, for those of you who are new here, we do this amazing thing on Discord where people get to ask their relationship advice questions on the Discord. You see, we've have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of questions in the Discord. Okay, so we've done this for many, many weeks. So if you have a personal question or a situation that you want me to answer live on air, get my opinion and also all these hundreds of amazing women's opinions as well, please hop into the Discord and ask your amazing question. If you're on YouTube, you go down into the link in the description right at the bottom and you ask your amazing question. I'll answer it live on the show. The link will take you directly to the relationship advice section forum where you can ask your question. or you can go to the link in my bio on TikTok and you can ask your question there. Okay. Juju says this live and everyday thing, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So every weekday. So first we have Teddy. Teddy asked, let's see what Teddy got to say. Teddy asked, is he going to lose interest? Okay, Teddy, we got you. Let's answer this. All right. So Teddy says, hi, Tomisin. So I met this guy in July 2022 online. This is a bad start. We started chatting about 4 months into it. He started to complain that I wasn't reciprocating the chatting, the texting. Excuse me. I didn't think so. So I just thought he was playing and manipulating me into chasing him, and I wasn't about it. So he disappeared. I never contacted him. You shouldn't. You met him online. You weren't even really building a real relationship. April this year, he came back full force. He video calls me every day before he goes to sleep and before he goes to bed. This is useless. This is so useless. Although the conversations are much deeper this time, I'm wondering what changed. I'm kind of skeptical. Sometimes I think he's just marinating me for pineapples as he's coming to me this September. He's in Europe and I'm in Africa. Okay. I don't want to give him pineapples, Tommy. He's going to stay for 2 weeks. He's going to stay at your place for 2 weeks. I already made it clear to him that he won't be staying in my house. Airbnb hotel will concern him to, he says, not a problem, but he's expecting to be spending time with me every day. I'll be dodging him, I swear. Now, my question is, do you think he's going to lose interest if I deny him sweets, pineapples? Okay, this is a good question. So Teddy, my advice to you is if he's actually planning this trip to come to you in September, cool, that's good. That's initiative that's talking about in terms of like actually coming to see you in real life. All this phone call till you go to bed every day, useless. I get that if you're meeting from long distance, obviously he wants to make sure there's a little bit of a vibe. Video call is better than him just texting you. So I understand why this was the setup to him actually seeing you. But like I always say, if you see that the video calls are leading to no actual realization of you guys spending real in-person time together, then you're wasting your time. But at least it seems like he's actually planning to come see you. So that's good. Now, when he gets here, if he wants to spend every day with you, that's perfectly fine. I don't think you should avoid him when he actually does the effort of seeing you in real life. This is where it's very important that you need to encourage the behavior that you do want and discourage the behavior that you don't want. So if he's just going to text you all day and never actually plan to see you, discourage that behavior. If he's going to plan a trip to come and see you and actually spend 2 weeks and pay for it himself, encourage that behavior. If you want this relationship, right? You want him to be encouraged to do the things that actually benefit you and this relationship in the best way. You understand what I'm saying? Now, however, that doesn't mean that you need to be over at each other's places in private right away and sleeping together. You just need to have in your mind, no matter what happens, you're not going to sleep with him. My advice to you would be, even though he has an Airbnb hotel, my advice to you honestly would be to not sleep over, because as soon as you sleep over in the same bed, especially if you guys get drunk, start drinking, do whatever, that's, just a recipe for the disaster and mistakes. Okay. You're just putting yourself in temptation's way. You can go over to his place, or even he comes to yours, as long as it's during the day and no sleepovers. Okay. Don't do the sleepover thing. But as much as possible, try and be out. I mean, if he's coming to Africa for the first time and this is your area, take him out to go places. Don't just stay in the don't just stay in the Airbnb or whatever. Go places. Encourage him to go, things to do, right? Obviously it's your city, so you're gonna have to a little bit take the lead on the places to go, but go places. Don't just sit in the house at night doing watching Netflix. Okay, go out, explore with him, and if he's willing to do that, then spend every day with him. If you see that he only seems to be wanting to just chill with you in the house, if he's really serious about building a relationship with you, there's no way he came from Europe to Africa to just sit in an Airbnb. So if he's really only trying to sit in an Airbnb, then you kind of have your answer if he's only seeking pineapples. However, I will say that coming from Europe to Africa, there probably is some level of interest there. I just have to be real with you. I don't think that for pineapples, I don't think that it's to pay for his own trip from Europe to Africa is a little bit much. But you can get tricked very easily by jumping into things before you're ready. So my advice to you would be to hang out with him all the 2 weeks that he spends there, but don't sleep with him. Don't do anything. You guys can lip lock. Okay, that's fine. If you're an adult, but don't be doing anything with your hands or your mouth other than kissing him, and don't be doing nothing with your feet or anything else. Okay, that's my advice to you. Very, very, very simple. Okay, that was Teddy's. Next week it was only a few we had today. It was only 2 we had today. So next we have A's. So A says, I was talking to this guy the title is was this just friends with benefits? So I thought we had more though. Huh. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I guess we only have 2 today. A says, I was talking to this guy for 9 months, met him on a dating app. We talked consistently for 2 months. Excuse me. We talked, first of all, meeting him on a dating app. You guys know how I feel about that. We talked consistently for 2 months, text and phone calls. After that, we started seeing each other. I did sleep with him on the second date. But his interest never slowed down. He continued to plan dates, cooked for me, and kept communication consistent, and promised he was only talking to me exclusively. He stated that he doesn't jump into putting labels on things and need to build things. I understood this, especially since he had a traumatic childhood. But after 9 months, I stated that I liked him, and if he didn't see a relationship with me, then I would have to leave. He said that if that was my decision, then okay. Since then, we haven't spoken. I just don't know if it was too quick to call things off, or should I have been much more patient since he was investing? Okay, look, I'm going to say this to you nice as I possibly can. You are wasting your time thinking that you can present yourself as a fun girl and then expect men to take you seriously. Okay? Sleeping, I don't care how many phone calls you have. Okay? I tell you guys all the time, phone calls and text mean absolutely nothing. You can talk to someone on the phone 24 hours a day for 8 years, and when you finally meet them in person, you get a very different feeling than when you are on the phone with that person. There's nothing that can supplement the energy you feel when you're actually sitting across from someone in real life. Okay, so let's get that straight. This 2 months phone calls means nothing. Don't even talk to me about text. You know that means absolutely nothing. The second date, you slept with him on the second date. I don't understand. What do you expect him to feel and think of you? The second date that you guys went on after this 2 months of whatever, like the second day of you guys actually knowing each other, you slept with him. I'm not saying that it is impossible for a guy to actually, want to build a relationship with someone that he slept with on the second date. But I'm asking you a question that if you were to think to yourself, okay, he wants to pursue me. He's desiring me. He wants to build something with me. Do you think that positively impacts his desire to pursue, or negatively impacts his desire to pursue when you give him that on the second date? I just want you to answer that question honestly. And you might not be here, but I want you to be thinking about answering that question honestly to determine why your situation might have ended up that way. Because it's interesting that he slept with you on the second date. So in terms of being intense, that's pretty intense. But it's interesting that that part would be the intense part. And as it came to being in a relationship, all of a sudden, he wasn't as intense of a person, because he stated that he doesn't jump into putting labels on things. That's quite interesting considering he jumps right into Squirtle. So in terms of jumping into Squirtle and having pineapples, that can be intense and quick. But when it comes to putting labels on things where there would actually have to be a set of rules and expectations and standards, that is something he's not so quick at. This is where I want you to, I'm breaking it down like this because I want you to see how it doesn't make sense. And I want you to see where the mistakes lie. Because this sentence that came here that I highlighted, this should have been up above where you sleeping with him. So how it actually should have read, if you did this the right way, sorry, let me scroll down. If you did this the right way, it should have actually read, I realized when he stated that he doesn't jump into labels on things, I realized it would be a bad idea to sleep with him. That's how it should have gone if you played this the right way, right? Instead, what you did was sleep with him and then realize afterwards that he doesn't jump into putting labels on things. So rather than asking the right questions and really figuring out what he was about, you figured out what he was about after making the mistake of giving him what he wanted, when figuring out what he was about is absolutely useless to you at that point. Okay? So after he says that, there's no secret where that's going to go. He's going to continue using you because it benefits him and your easy access to him. So yeah, after 9 months of talking, after that period of time, he probably just got bored. Or sorry, in this case, he didn't even get bored. You got frustrated with sitting around and waiting for something to happen that was never going to happen, because why would it happen? I'm sure throughout this 9 months, he was continuing to sleep with you, continuing to have access to you, continuing to have you probably treat it a lot like a relationship without him ever having to commit to you. So I want you to understand, ask yourself this question. If he was getting everything he would ever want, from you without having to commit to you, why would he then commit to you? What purpose is it serving for him to commit to you? Like, I want you to start thinking of your relationships on this level, right? How is it serving him or benefiting him to commit to you when you're already doing everything you would be doing if you were in a relationship without him having to do anything for you in return? So obviously he's going to continue doing what's been working, right? And this lets you know how he really feels. Because when you said you would leave, he said, okay. You said you would leave if this didn't turn into a relationship. He said, okay. So that either means one of two things. He didn't even believe that you were telling the truth and you would even stand on business and be about what you say you're about. Or he simply just didn't find you interesting enough that the fact that you would leave or walk away from the relationship, he had finished squeezing the life out of you anyways, and he was only having you around for the convenience that if you were to walk away, it wouldn't change or affect his life either way. He probably would describe you as chill, right? Chill because he's indifferent to whether or not you're in his life. It doesn't really matter. That's what he means, right? It does not matter if you are in my life or not. So if you have some issues that are going on that are forcing you to walk away from the relationship, go ahead, walk away. I don't really care that much, which is why he responded with, okay, you're going to leave? Okay, you can leave, right? And you guys haven't spoken, probably because you were the one on the offensive, meaning you were the one pursuing him. And the only reason you kept pursuing him probably was because you were scared now that I've invested so much in him. If I walk away now, it's going to be a waste of my time. And you're saying your question, you don't know if it was too quick to call things off. No, I actually think you waited too long. You actually waited 9 months. Okay. So that was actually too long. It wasn't too quick. I think at a certain point, you finally started realizing that you were stringing yourself along. and the desire to stop stringing yourself along is what pushed you to just end it. And I actually think you did the right thing. I actually think what you did is very commendable, because most people would continue just waiting for him to realize how much he wants to be in a relationship with you, when that's never going to happen. Okay? So you did the right thing, and I don't think you have any reason to look back on this relationship with fond memories and try to, re-entertain this. I honestly think he's probably moved on, and he probably has another girl that he's messing with now, and he probably doesn't think of you that much. Okay? Just going to be honest with you. Right? So that's my advice to you, That's my advice to you. Oh, we've got what happened here? We got a bunch in the span of time since we've been here. Okay, so let's I always think it's funny when we have screenshots. I think we did this. No, this is one that we did already. I think this is a response to yeah, I already did this one. Red flags, where he compliments me. Yeah, I already did this one. I don't know why that's popping up as new. I literally did this. Catherine, if your question has been answered. So whenever you answered your question, I answered that a couple of days ago. I remember answering this one. Okay. I'm just a girl. This is going to be funny. Quick advice. I'm just a girl asks, what do you think about a friendship between a male and female, both attractive and attracted to each other, but he says he sees me as his sister? Is it worth the temptation? This is interesting. So if you're asking this question, that probably means that you're somewhat romantically interested in this guy. If he's telling you he sees you as his sister, that probably means you're the one that wants him, and he's the one holding you in your place and saying, cool, we can continue this friendship, but I don't want to build anything more. That's usually what that translates to, because if he actually wanted you, I almost wanted to say it depends, but the truth of the matter is, if you're attractive and he actually wanted you, he damn sure would not be saying he sees you as a sister. You're friend zoned. That's fine. But I just want you to understand that you're friend zoned. Okay, so don't be expecting this guy to fall on his knees and tell you how much he wants to be in a relationship with you. Because like I said, if you're the one asking me this question, that means you're the one romantically curious about him, which means you're the one kind of waiting for him to realize that he wants to be in a relationship with you. Kind of a bad place to be in, because you're investing yourself in someone that you don't really want to just be friends with. And now it puts him in a position of power where if he ever wanted to use you, he can. And he can just use you and tell you that you guys are just friends afterwards, and you're going to stick around because you know that you want to be with him. Okay? I don't necessarily believe in the idea of friendship between male and female. I always think that one person or the other is actively wanting or trying to build a relationship. But the other person is like, nah, I'm either not ready for that, I don't want that, or I'm not interested in you like that. And so it just ends up being a waiting game for one person or the other. And it seems like the waiting game is on your part. Okay. James says, let's see what James says. James says, advice. She says, I met this guy under 10 months ago when he gave me directions to, he gave me directions at the mall. We exchanged numbers and started speaking on a mutual friends level. That's actually pretty smooth, giving directions at the mall and then he got your number. We spoke here and there, but nothing serious, as he is hardly in the country, but he would message or check up on me so often, weekly or bi-weekly, and is mostly out of town. We have been out to dinner twice, one in which he took me out for my birthday. He has recently told me he likes / is attracted to me, and is recently planning to meet up, and he plans to fly in for my birthday, but it's coming up on a year since we've known each other. Is it worth continuing moving on, or is it coming up to a year since we met? Or moving on as it's coming up to a year since we met? Jim, based on what you've told me, first of all, that's pretty smooth. he gave you directions and then he got your number. I mean, that to me, that tells me this is someone who at least has the confidence and the ability to like have a real conversation, that he could give you directions and somehow spin that into getting your number. So he's kind of smooth, right? That's a good thing. You don't want a soy boy, microwave boy who can only hide behind a computer screen and a phone, right? This is good. You want guys like that. That's intentional. He's seen you. He gave you directions. He's like, you fine as hell. You got a huge dump truck. I'm trying to know you. Okay. That's good. Now, the second part, you said he lives, where'd you say he lives? You said that he lives he's hardly in the country. So let's just assume he lives out of the country. So clearly, it's going to be hard for him to get there. However, you said that he, even despite him being hardly in the country, he checks in on you, which is good. And you've been out to dinner since then. He's taking you out for your birthday. That's very intentional. The fact that it's your birthday, it took some planning. If he's out of the country, all this stuff takes planning and scheduling. He can't be like, pick up a phone and just be like, are you available right now? That takes planning and scheduling. That's intentional. That's good. He obviously told you he likes you. He's told you how he feels about you. He told you he wants you. He's attracted to you and all that good stuff, which is also speaking towards intention, right? He's not just leaving you in the dust to be confused. That's good. Recently planning to meet up, right? Plans is always good, right? Especially when he's planning to meet up with you in person and not just talking to you and texting you aimlessly with no end goal, right? So the fact that even though he's far away, he's making a plan to see you again for your birthday, that's also good and intentional. Now, I don't think that you necessarily have to do anything drastic here. I don't think you have to cut it off. And I don't think you have to be like, all right, let's jump right into a relationship. I think you should continue allowing him to move at the pace that he wants to move at. Clearly, you guys aren't exclusive, so it doesn't affect you if he flies out for your birthday and, let's say he can't see you again for a while. Allow this to continue happening. If he wants to continue, building this up and being nice to you and taking you out, he's flying in for your birthday. Okay. Then that's good. Okay. Someone said in the chat, he probably lives down the street with his wife, right? I don't want to cast that on him because I don't know him and I don't know enough about the situation to assume that he's only seeing you every so often because he's got a wife, when it really could just be about the fact that he lives outside of the country. And like you said, it's coming up on a year, but he also lives outside of the country. And maybe, I'm assuming you probably know his schedule or what he works or what he does. It might just not be feasible or possible for him to come and see you all the time. Now, obviously, only a couple times a year is pretty tough. So if the relationship is going to grow, that frequency has to increase. But I think for the most part, there's been like quite a bit of intention there. So I think you can continue allowing him to pursue. Doesn't mean you got to sleep with him, but at least allow him to continue pursuing you and see if the intention picks up after a while. I know it's been a year, but if let's say it continues going on and you see that it's only really just a birthday thing and there's nothing more going from this, then you can start saying, all right, look, I'm not interested in doing this. So when he flies in for your birthday, this is a great time to start asking questions. You don't have to interview him and be like, what do you want from this? What do you expect from this? Just start asking him where he is in his life and where he sees himself in the next 5 years, right? Start getting an understanding of if he's trying to grow a relationship with someone who he sees as a potential wife, or if he's just in the business of flying, going out places, having fun, traveling. Traveling just means I want to continue being a hoe, okay? So just get that sense, all right? Have your questions ready and the things you want to discuss about him to get an understanding of where he's at mindset wise, because that will tell you if he's trying to grow a relationship or he just sees it as a fun thing to just come out and, spend time with you for your birthday and then go back home. Okay. Very important, right? So good there. I think Unknown has a question here. Let's see. We'll do unknowns. Unknown says, what should I do? I made a guy. I made a few of the 7 mistakes that we just talked about. He lied and manipulated me. Yeah, that happens. There was another girl involved. He wants to meet up to talk. What should I do? And how should I act upon meeting? Unknown, I'm not sure why you would want to meet up with the guy who manipulated you and has another girl involved. I mean, you can to see what he says, but I'm trying to like the only thing he could possibly tell you when he meets up with you that would make sense is the girl's gone now and I only want you. So unless he's planning on telling you that, then all he's trying to do is spin the story and tell you some cockamamie story that will have you still giving up your Squirtle to him. Which if he already lied and manipulated you, that's probably what this is going to be, is just some rigmarole story where he tells you how, they're kind of sort of dating, but not really. And they're broken up for a second when, he was messing with you. Just a waste of your time. Okay. That's most likely what he's going to tell you. So I would advise to you, just move on. Okay. From what you told me, just move on. Like there's no purpose to this. You just said that he lied and manipulated you. Do you think he's going to stop lying and manipulating you all of a sudden? No. Even still, why would you want to be building a relationship with someone who clearly has shown you that they will be with you and another girl? That's a very bad sign for the future of your relationship with that man. Okay? All right, guys. Oh my gosh. I'll answer the rest of these questions on tomorrow's show. Okay. So if you have a question, please make sure to go and send it into the Discord, into the Players Club Discord in the relationship advice section, where I will answer all of your amazing, awesome questions and we will get to a discussion. All right. That's the show for today. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is right on top of my head. If you guys are on TikTok, right there, it's right on top of my forehead on the left side. And for those of you on TikTok, and for those of you on YouTube, it's right at the bottom right. If you want to figure out, you're like, this is the most amazing show ever. This is awesome. I want to see this more. I want to know about this more. Where can I find this? Please just head right over to my YouTube channel, which is right on top of my head on the left side, where you can find all of the videos that I've posted on live in the past and forevermore. Okay. So make sure you subscribe to me and you're locked in there, where I post lots of amazing content and this show will live on forever. All right. I will be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time, with an exciting new setup. It's going to be very exciting for you guys. And we'll have lots of fun, talk about love, life, and relationships. Once again, Gold says I arrived late due to TikTok traffic. It's okay. You can go ahead and find the entire show on the YouTube channel. All right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time, whatever time that is in your time zone. Figure it out and get to it. I will see you beautiful, amazing people tomorrow. All right. Bye. Just for now, not forever.